So we have arrived at the last interview, which is with the drummer, Patrick Johansson. Patrick Johansson. Hello there.
Hello there.
May I start right away? Who are you? And how did you end up in Final Strike?
Who am I? What do I want to do with my life? I want to rock. I'm Patrick. I'm from Sweden. That's where I met Christian. I was at a party at the mutual friend Per Sundström's house long time ago. And Christian gave me a demo with his band Mandrake and said, "Hey, I can sing. I'm a singer." Okay. A few years go by. My friend Tobias Ols calls me and say, my girlfriend at the time, his wife now, her brother gonna move to America and go to school in Los Angeles. Can he stop by your house in Florida first and get a soft landing? I said, Los Angeles and Palm Beach, where I live, it's 3,000 miles apart. So it's not like really you can just walk down to school. But I said, sure, let him come over. Oh, he's a singer. He said you guys met at Per's house, right? A few years ago. And I said, yeah, sure, I guess we can come and stay. And I remember I was playing at the time with a bar band, a very cool band, my friends in a bar, Captain Nasty, in a small place called Beef O'Brady's. My wife went to go pick Christian up at the airport. And as we're playing the last set, someone sweeping the floor. The girl, Jennifer was her name, I never forget, blonde girl, sweeping the floor, the cleaning up. It's the end of the night, you play all night, the people already left. But we just keep playing and playing because in hope of this singer gonna show up. And then we're at the last song, we're about to pack up. The owner goes, "Listen, you guys gotta pack up, man. You gotta go, man, gotta go." And I said, "No, there he is." He walks in the door and goes up to the stage, takes the microphone, and we played. I don't remember what it was, some Aussie or something, maybe Crazy Train or something. But whatever it was, he sang. And I remember those people in the bar turning around. The girl cleaning the floor, she goes, "Huh?" Turns around, and people, what happened? I knew then that's gold. This guy, we're gonna do records together, me and him. It's no way out of it. Because I'm older than Christian. I'm older than the other guys from Falun, where we grew up in Sweden. We had this place called Varpgården, Rockhuset Varpgården. It was a house. We had a copper mine, and they have all these byproducts with slag. We call it slag from Sweden. In English, it'd be slag, I guess, Right, Swinglish. Byproducts from the copper mine. So they stacked it up on big piles like mountains of that slag. So we call it slaghögar now. And that's where we used to have a place that all the bands rehearse, or some of the bands got to rehearse for. I remember I used to play there since I was a kid. And at this time, later in life, the other bands starting to play there too. So it was a lot of good community with music in that hometown Falun, right? In Sweden. But at the time Christian started rehearsing there, I already moved to America. So I missed his greatness, but then I already had moved. Yeah, so Tobias, my band from Without Grief, we used to play there in the Varpgården, me and him. So I known him since he was 10 years old and I was 13 or something, Tobias. I known him all my life. So when he called and asked, I said, sure, Christian can stay. So he stayed with me for a while. We recorded some demos. Then he went on to go to Los Angeles. But a few times when he was here, I took him around the bars to play in the bar band. Even if I traveled and played drums with other bands too, we go on tour. But I always like to play. I love playing drums. So I play at home, anywhere in Falun, or if I'm on tour and I'm have a few days off. If it's a bar band that wants a drummer or whatever, any band, then I would go play with them at night anyway, because I love playing. It doesn't matter if you play a big band or small band, or big stage or small stage. In my mind, I'm always playing the Garden, right? Always Madison Square Garden since I was a kid. From playing in my mom's basement till I play, big shows with some other bands I work with, or if I played with whatever band it was. It doesn't matter. In your mind, you're doing your best every time, because the world is watching, so you don't know who's gonna pay attention, especially now with the internet. But anyway, so that's how I met Christian. I took him to the bars, and I had the same reaction as that initial meeting. Every time he came, and people, holy shit, who's this guy? Yeah, so that's why I thought that guy one day. So we tried, me and Martin Anderson, a good friend from Los Angeles, also Swedish bass player, plays with Lida Ford now, great guy. Played with Steelheart, George Lynch, and actually played with him in Lynchmont. That's almost 20 years ago. But we did some demos with Christian, a few songs, 3 songs. And nothing really came of it. I still have them. I listen to them sometimes. I thought they were great. And he went to LA, go to school, moved back to Sweden, got married to his girlfriend at the time. And and he said, I'll be back another time. Okay. Then a few years go by, and I remember I'm going home from a wedding with my wife. Her friend had got married. And he calls and says, hey, you want... No, maybe it wasn't the wedding. A road trip. It was a road trip. That was another story. So anyways, I'm going home and he said, hey, I have this new idea with a guy, Bill. And I knew Bill too from Los Angeles. And that's what happened with Northdale. Then that didn't really work out the way I was hoping. The pandemic happened. When Christian left the Northdale, me and him start talking and said that let's do another project just the way we want to do it. And let's do, I have a few songs here. How can you say no? I always say to him, listen, you're the guy, I think he's the front guy I wish I found when I was 20. So I could have had a band with him then and take him on the full journey, right? For me, I never had my own band. I had my own bands, but it never really materialized in a younger age. It was always had to go play with someone else, which was great. Awesome too. But he has something special, the charisma, the good voice, the charisma, and he writes pretty good songs too. But most of all, he's a great guy. And that's why me and Christian have the unholy alliance of Final Strike with those other guys.
About Sweden, is there anything that you miss in Sweden?
Yeah, I miss a few things. I miss my friends. Some of my friends, Jocke and Per, Mats, Jon, the guys I used to hang out with when I was a kid, My neighbor Jon, we played guitar, and Mats and I, we played in the band, many bands. And Jocke and Per are like my brothers. I miss them. But everyone has their own lives now, and I have my life here. But I do miss the salt licorice. I miss the Swedish ice cream at the Torsångs cafe. Down between Falun and Borlänge, you have a little cafe where you can rent boats, and then you can go out on the river or lake or whatever it is. And I miss the Swedish nose spray. I always have to have that when you get a cold, especially now when COVID is everywhere. Swedish nose spray, that's the real cure for COVID. That spray, don't tell anyone. The spray prices of that would be $200 a bottle instead of $1. Regular menthol nose spray, it's a mental nose spray, I call it, because it makes you feel great. That I miss, of course, mom and my sisters. But I like it here. My home now. Been here 22 years.
So about the album, if you could pick 2 songs from the album, which 2 songs and why would you pick those 2?
I like Spark in the Dark because that's the hit. And that's when everything is dark, it's always a little spark. I used to look at it like if you have a glass half full or half empty. I'm a pretty positive guy. The world is a beautiful place. Doesn't matter where we live, right? As long as we're happy. Doesn't matter how much money you have or if you have, a nice car or whatever. I don't care. What matters is that you're content with yourself. But, even in the darkest hour, like all the COVID and all that fucking bullshit, it's nice to spark in the dark. Something spoke to me. The song, the chords, the beginning, they open it up. It's a slower song, but it's more into it. It's fun to play fast songs, but a fast song is hard to translate to a bigger crowd on a big arena. I'm sorry, it's just a fact. This Spark from the Dark is to me, it's like an anthem. Spark from the Dark, it's like just, there we go, it's like something that I wish I could have picked up in a record store when I was a kid. Because I'm a fan of music. I love Kiss. I love, Judas Priest and all those bands. And you remember being a kid, you wait and go to the record store, and you go to the store. It's all this mystery. You didn't know how the technology in the record, in the recording industry, you didn't know how they did the record. Was it really this guy playing on the record, or was it someone else? Or was it, did you play the song start to finish? Did you piece it together? You didn't know. When you're a kid, you go to, all you know is this record you have and the songs and the mystery. You look at those album covers, you sit and look at the picture, Rainbow Rising, maybe one of the greatest records of all time. And you see on the back, wonder what size Cozy Powell's kick drums are. And later we found out there's 226, 213-inch and 216-inch floor. I thought it was a 12, 13, 16, 18. No, it was 2 of the same, I guess, in the early time there. Two single kick drum kits with 13, 16, and 26 they put together, right? So that's kind of cool. And the red sparkle from Munich in 77, right? That was amazing. You sit and watch a little video clip and you're all fanatic about it. Try to, wah! And you get into it, the music. So it was a mystery. And I wish there was the same with that kind of thing still today. Now with internet, we sit in 2 parts of the world talking on the computer, right? It's kind of interesting, but on the other hand, it's still, some of the magic and mystery is gone. But once in a while, a song like Spark in the Dark comes along and it brings me back to that little 12-year-old boy in mom's basement behind the white pearl kit, playing the drums and putting the headphones on. He picked up a new record. Oh, I love that song. And that's the feeling I get when I listen to that song.
Finally, I have one question for me as a metal novice. What kind of advice would you give me?
Okay, for me, heavy metal and rock and roll means freedom. Freedom to do whatever you want. Don't be held down by the rules of society or the rules of what anyone say, right? We should be nice to each other and we should be respectful to each other and stuff. But rock and roll, we should play it loud. We don't play on 10, we play on 11, like Manowar say. And we should just be together, united. You know, it doesn't matter where you live, where you're from, doesn't matter how you look like, if you're tall or short or whatever. You know, it doesn't matter. We're all in there for the same reason. You know, so that's the most important. It's nothing. You know, we're all in the same heavy metal family.
That was the end of this journey. Thank you for having followed me upon this journey to learn more about Final Strike and learn more about power metal. I truly hope that you will enjoy the album that is about to be released very, very soon now. So take care. Sorry, one more thing. I thank you for having followed me upon this journey as if this was the end of the journey. The journey with Final Strike has only just begun.